In previous section, I created a link between an end device, such as a computer, with a switch. Assuming that we have multiple computers connected to a switch, we can put those computers and actually those ports connecting to those computers in different VLANs. For example, this can go to VLAN 10, this can go to VLAN, for example, 20, this one again can go to VLAN 10, and this one can go to VLAN 20. And based on this, we know that this is, for example, computer 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. We know that based on this information, computer 1 can talk to computer 2 because they are in the same VLAN, and computer 3 can talk to computer 4 because they are in the same VLAN. Assuming that I have another switch in my network, and it has some computers connected to that. For example, these computers connect to switch 2, and this is computer 5, this is computer 6, and this is computer 7. And they connect to this switch using cables. And I put computer 5 and 6 in VLAN 10, and computer 7 in VLAN 20. And I connect these switches together so that the traffic from one of these computers can go, one of these switches can go to the other switch and vice versa. So how can I send the traffic from computer 4 to computer 7? They are both in VLAN 20. I can put this link in VLAN 20, and I will be sure that the traffic from one of these computers can go to the other one. What happens if I want to send traffic from computer 2 to computer 5? I have already put this link in VLAN 20, so I cannot send traffic from one of these switches to the other switches. We can go and solve this using one very nice feature in a switch. We can put this link, we can define this link as a trunk link. A trunk link is supposed to convey any type of traffic, any type of VLANs traffic actually. So if this is a trunk, this is supposed to have VLAN 10 and 20 and any other VLANs information, and it can be used as a highway. We can send traffic from any device in any VLAN from one switch to any device in any VLAN on another switch. So a trunk link is a link between two switches, for example, switch 1 and switch 2, that supports traffic from different VLANs. And what happens when we are tagging data with one VLAN? When we are sending data from one device to another device on a trunk, actually we go and add a tag to the data frame. Assuming that this is a data frame, and it can be from for example 64 bytes to 1500 bytes, we need to add a tag to the end of this. A tag is added to the end of this, or not to the end of this, of course, to the beginning of this, to the beginning of this frame. And in this tag, we add a number. This number, for example, number 10, denotes that this is a frame that belongs to VLAN 10. So we can separate this from another frame that belongs to VLAN 20, because this has another frame. This has a different frame. So let me draw this like this. This is another one, and this belongs to VLAN 20. So based on this tag, we can go ahead and say that this is different from the other one. This belongs to VLAN 10. This is not supposed to be routed to VLAN 20. And the other one belongs to VLAN 20, and it is not supposed to be routed to VLAN 10. So this is a tag. Some protocols add a tail to the end of the frame. So when we add a header and a tailer, or actually a footer to the frame, we call this encapsulation. Some protocols add only one header and they do not add any footer. If this is the case, that is called tagging. And actually we go for tagging. That's because this is a standard method. We can do it on different vendors switches, and we are not limited to do this on Cisco devices. But here I want to show you how we can do this and how which standards we have and how we can configure that on a simulated environment. And I'm not going to use GNS3 for this. That's because it has some limitations. What I am going to use is Cisco Packet Tracer, and I can simulate switches on this, and I'm not limited to do that. So this is an old version of Cisco Packet Tracer, but that's quite okay. I'm going to add a switch to the environment, and you can go down here. Of course, on different versions you may find it in somewhere else, but you can find switches here. By clicking on switches, you can see different models of switches. And what I am going to add is select, for example, 2960 and drag it to the environment. One here and another one here. Now what I'm going to do is to add some computers. So I go here and select end devices, and you can see different types of end devices here, such as phones, TVs, computers, smart devices. I just add one computer here, another one here, another one here, and again one here, and one here. We can go ahead and add connection between these. So I select this lightning, that is for connections, and you can see different types of connections. For example, a direct connection, or a connection that is like lightning. It is used for frame relay connections, and curve connections, of course. I use copper straightforward connections. So I connect this fast Ethernet to fast 01, for example. This connects. I use another connection to fast 02. You can see that I need to click on this anytime I add a connection between these devices. And for the other one, I do the same. This is a nice program and I like it, but it has some limitations because it doesn't support any command that I need. But in this case, I can easily use this to create links between these devices. Okay. Now I want to have links between switches. They are supposed to connect to each other, and the link between these, this is gonna be a trunk link. So I select one of these and I want to click on the switch and go for fast 024 from this one, and click on this one and fast 024 from the other one. And of course we could select a gigabit Ethernet. That's a better option. Let me press escape and disable this and do this using one of the highest speed links. I have gigabit Ethernet 1.1 from this one connected to gigabit Ethernet 1.1 from the other one. Okay. Now I have the topology. Now I go and double click on one of these computers. This opens for us, and on config tab we have fast Ethernet. This is an easy way to configure the IP address for this computer. And you can see that I have selected to have this statically. So I have 10, for example, VLAN 50. I add 50 as a VLAN identifier, and you can see that this is not essential to have a VLAN number and the third part of the IP address the same. I just write like this because this is going to be easier for me to recognize. And because this is PC1 and I'm going to rename it to PC1, this is going to have, for example, 111. Okay, the subnet mask is going to be 255.255.255.0. And this is one part of the configuration. You can see that I have selected to have this like this. And I can go to physical and see different items of this. You can see the different modules connected to this computer. I can select each of these modules and add to the device. But I'm not going to do this. Let's go to desktop and see this, the configuration, the global configuration. This is the global configuration setting, and I want to say change the name to PC1. This tells me that there is already a PC1 here. So let me rename it to PC, for example, 0. That's okay, give it up. Okay, now I have an IP address set for this, like this. So PC0 is in the VLAN 50. Let's put PC2 in VLAN 52. So I go to config, go to fast Ethernet, and type 10, 10, 50, 112. And 255, 255, 255, 0. And this is the configuration for this one. And I want to put this in VLAN 20. So I double click on this and go to configuration, fast Ethernet. So I put this in VLAN 20, 111 again. 255, 255, 255, 0. And that's it. Let me change the IP address on this. I want to make this 110. That's because this way it is much better. Okay, on the other side, let me put this in VLAN 50. 10, 10, 50, 113, like this. And this one may go in VLAN 20. So this is going to be 10, 10, 20, 114. And this one in VLAN 20 again. So I type 1, 10, 10, 21, 15. And all of them have 24-bit mask. Okay. Now I have these configurations here. I know that this is in VLAN 50 and PC2 is in VLAN 50. They can ping each other, but all of these devices basically are in VLAN 1. In the next section, I want to go and configure VLAN on these switches and then configure this link between the switches as a trunk link.